Stand by film.
5,
Stand by music.
4,
Stand by announce.
3, 2, 1.
And fade up.
Sneaky little Morbises.
Spider-Man, hero or menace?
Dear Indugo.
Dobby the house elf.
Who holds sway over the 5 points?
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
This is my family.
There's a hole in this cake.
You concur?
I'm a bloody island. I'm bloody Ibiza.
How about new? You crazy Dutch bastard.
Are you ready? Let's do this. All right, so welcome everyone to a brand new episode of 20 Years, 4 Beers. We are a podcast dedicated to rewatching movies from 2 decades ago, while simultaneously enjoying a minimum of 4 modern beers. My name is Steve, and this is my big brother,
Tim.
And we are coming to you from Minneapolis, Minnesota. We have just watched and recorded our episode on My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Opa.
So go take a look for that. And as usual, we sit together afterwards and discuss another film over another beer. So we refer to these as our happy hour episodes.
Hey, you guys. Happy hour is from 4 to 6.
Because we have indeed had a few, and it is a happy hour. On this episode, we will be discussing our first-ish, I think. I mean, Memento was kind of a suspenseful, but not in this, but suspense thriller.
Yep.
In David Fincher's Panic Room. Panic Room is the story of a soon-to-be divorced woman and her diabetic daughter who move into an upscale house in Manhattan that, among other fun amenities like an elevator and hardwood flooring, features a panic room for protection against intruders. Before they can even get settled in on their first night, 3 men break into the house with the intent on robbing a treasure left behind by the previous owner. Unfortunately for the robbers, the 2 women are there and make it into the panic room for safety. Unfortunately for the women, the treasure that the robbers seek is inside the panic room itself. What ensues is a thriller that ratchets up the suspense with every moment, and ultimately, a worthy addition to the truly remarkable filmography of David Fincher. That's it. We're done. You're welcome.
That's a great
Thank you.
Summary.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yep.
Well done.
Oh, yeah. Edited many times today at the brewery. So there we go.
That's a really good summary.
The film is directed by David Fincher, written by David Coop. Easily got to be the only time we've had 2 straight full episodes by the same
David.
author.
Yep.
And stars Jodie Foster, Kristen Stewart, Forrest Whitaker, Jared Leto, and Dwight Yoakam.
Do it.
Yeah, me and a couple.
Excuse me. The police are on their way.
She's lying.
You're full of
It's not an intercom. It's a PA system. I know. I'm just scaring her.
I suggest you leave before they get here.
What? He's saying that we don't have a phone. How could he know that?
Initial memories? Do you want to go first?
I was on spring break in North Carolina my senior year when this came out with 5 friends, or 4 friends with me. And
4 friends. That must be nice.
Let's just say we needed a midweek break.
Sure.
From the
fornicating?
No. Jesus. Imbibing going on at the beach house.
Yeah, mine's better than yours.
Yeah. So we had borrowed it from a friend's family, and we're like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
This maybe, I think maybe Wednesday I saw it.
Is this another, like, have you ever seen Panic Room on weed? Right.
Yeah, as sober because you were having a good time. Because ultimately at that point, anything David Fincher released was like, yeah, hands down. After 7, The Game, and Fight Club, it was like, absolutely.
Yep.
Going to be whatever you produce and release, I'm going to be there.
How dare you forget Alien 3, but all right.
I don't forget that. And actually, that's a hill I will die on. That is a fantastic
great
movie.
Yep.
It terrified me. I had Cool Ranch Doritos and Crystal Pepsi.
Good Lord, how high were you?
At a
good
friend's
sir?
house and was terrified of that movie. Oh, it was early 90s. Incredible. But that being said,
all right.
So his filmography was like unassailable to me.
Yep.
So
Still is.
absolutely loved this movie
Yep.
when I saw it. The claustrophobic vibes, great visual style, choices, good performances. Anyway, so I'm super biased. We'll talk through a bit, but I remember seeing it, and I lied to the woman I was dating at the time because she said, "Don't go see it with your friends. Let's go see it when you get back." And I was like, cool. And I went and saw it, and they came back. No, we didn't see it. No. Let's go. Oh, you don't know her. Yeah,
okay.
It's a college fling or whatever. But yeah. So then we came back. And
Which of the big long list are we talking about here?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's I had it was a great affinity for this movie. So how about you?
I remember distinctly watching this movie with Andrea, our sister.
Okay.
On my trip to visit her for spring break when I was in college, and we saw it in some like small ass theater that was like a converted stage.
Hibachi grill. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. But it was like it had like a stage up front, you know, like so it was like an old theater, but it had like a stage up front, and then they put the screen up on it. You know, fun side note, it's also the same theater I saw Death to Smoochie in. So, you know, you got that going for you. Not a movie we're covering this year, but I do actually really enjoy that movie.
That's funny. That's good.
So yeah, I just remember I'm with you. I remember loving kind of everything about this movie.
Yeah.
And walking into it thinking same person that made all 4 movies you talked about. Fight Club, 7 The Game, and Alien 3. You're just kind of like, I'm in.
Sign me up.
Yeah, I'm in. This is like early Christopher Nolan too. So you're just like, okay, here we go. Yeah, I mean, I do remember thinking like, oh, I really love this film, but it was at the time, if I'm going to compare this movie to 7, Fight Club, or The Game, I'm not sure it holds at the time, especially. I'm not sure it holds water to those movies.
Of those,
right?
Yes,
I love Alien 3 as well, but I'd rather watch this than Alien 3. But like, I don't know. So I think that was almost, I remember like a detriment, right? Of like, it's still really good, but it's not as good as other movies. Does that mean it's bad? Like,
I agree.
It's weird.
It was a relative, like it's better than what else was probably produced at the time. Or feeling like this type of like cat and mouse experience was so great. But I agree. Relative to David Fincher, I was like, meh.
Yeah. When was the last time you saw it? Before?
Probably 2 years ago, actually.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I was for some reason, on a David Fincher kick, early pandemic.
Sure.
And I watched Social Network and a bunch of other stuff that he and I watched this. I think I remember texted you like, oh, this hits different now. So we'll talk about that. But it's been 2 years ago, I think.
All the way through, it's probably been at least a decade for me.
Gotcha.
I mean, I definitely, it's on TV, it's around, you just catch it, you know, in scenes. Oddly enough, like 3 weeks ago, it was on like TNT or something like that. And I just caught part of it and I was like, I got to stop watching this because I'm going to watch it later.
But you watching it that long ago was somewhat maybe interesting to me because I watched it with my wife this week and she's never seen it. And so it was awesome watching it with her, knowing what was going to happen.
Oh, sure.
And seeing how she reacted to it. So we'll talk about that. But it was kind of an interesting experience.
So our first segment then, as usual, is Drinking Buddies.
Come on, not my fucking beer.
Where we present the 4 beers that we had, 2 for each of us, as we watch these separately.
Mm-hmm.
And give our expert drinking ratings. Ratings.
Or ratings?
Do you want to go first?
You can go.
So my 2 buddies out of Lupulin Brewing from Big Lake, Minnesota. Big vending. Here we go. I had the Operation Cooperation New England.
Oh, yeah.
The New England Triple IPA that they did with
Drecker. Nice.
10% ABV. They had Vic Secret, Citra, Belma. I guess. And
new
Nelson
one.
Sauvin hops. I had a 4.25 out of 5. Really solid. Have you had it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like
Whenever they have their
we just
ones
talked
come
about
out.
it with Blissful Ignorance and their DDH.
Yeah.
Similar. Like
Yep.
it was very similar. I was like, oh. In fact, I rated them both 4.25.
Yeah.
Like really good. It was
Yep.
very enjoyable. Then I also had what I think is our first War Pigs beer.
No, we had the sour from them.
Oh yeah, yep, you're
Yep.
absolutely right. Yep. So we had the War Pigs out of I thought it was Chicago. I think they're out of Indiana.
I think so. I saw recently. Like,
I don't like anything from Indiana, and now I have to like this. Son of a bitch, Indiana. So
Thanks.
Waking the Witch,
Oh,
Imperial,
yeah.
that's new one. Imperial Double Black IPA, 8.25% ABV. I don't even know about the hops. I didn't even look it up.
No.
I had a 4 out of 5.
Yeah,
Really solid. Have you had it?
I did.
Yeah, a
This
really solid
recently,
black
yes.
IPA. I don't love black IPAs that often. There's
Mhm.
been some over the years. You remember how like much we loved the one from 3rd Street?
Yes.
I can't even remember the name of it now.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see the label and
for it.
everything.
Yep.
But like black IPAs aren't really around much, and we've had I think 1 or 2 along the way. Stone, you had one.
Yep.
My problem with black IPAs is they're not very flavorful.
Yeah.
And this, I think the Imperial, like the double version
Yes.
of it, kind of brought out more flavor
Yes.
because I was not expecting much. I really liked it.
It's
like
good.
I thought it was 4 to 5. You know, it was really good.
That's very, very, very good. For me,
Theme beers.
no, I only had one.
Okay.
So I'll go with the one that wasn't.
I just had whatever was on tap at the restaurant. I was
That's
at.
good. That's a
There
good
we go.
choice. I had this time of year. It's a staple for the release. Bell's out of Michigan. Their Hop Slam double IPA with honey, and 4.5 for me. It's just
I do like that. I might steal your can.
you can have it. I don't. You actually like. Should we have it for this? I had it yesterday.
Yep.
So,
Did you watch this yesterday?
sorry, Wednesday. I should
Okay,
say.
all right.
Yeah. It's just a beer that I think I don't need to get, and then it comes out. I'm like, yep.
I know,
I
right?
gotta give me some Hop Slam.
Yeah.
It's just the best.
Yep.
For that kind of style. Even as the market has caught up to that type of style,
Mm-hmm.
it's still
Yeah, there's
incredible.
almost like a comfort nostalgia to it. Like,
Yes.
oh, okay, they're still making it well.
Yep.
We're gonna do it.
So good. And then the theme beer I had, thinking through the idea of panic, Stone Brewing out of San Diego, their Fear movie Lions.
To this day, I still think that's one of the dumbest freaking names for a beer.
That's so stupid.
I mean,
it's
that must be an inside joke on their end or something.
Well, it's FML. Is the,
okay, but
yeah.
even still,
Yes.
it's like, oh, WTF? Where's
Yeah.
the food?
Yeah.
Not the same, man.
Yeah. Fear movie Lions.
Okay.
Aw,
All right.
yes, FML. It's stupid.
But the beer is pretty
the
solid.
Fear, yeah, it's their hazy double IPA. To me, 4.25 for me. It's
Yeah,
solid.
you get it every year when it comes out.
It's become kind of an annual or not like actually it's become like a regular release where the thing I love about it actually is it's 6-pack of Tall Boys.
Yep.
For like $14.
Yeah, the rare.
So if I can get a great double IPA, Tall Boy for what I can get for like 4-pack of Tall Boys for like less money, I'm all for it.
Yep.
It's just solid. I love it.
It is good.
But I didn't have it until I saw we were gonna do Panic Room. Like, I'm doing the
That makes
Fear.
sense.
So yeah, that was my option. And then tonight,
what do we got?
we're enjoying out of East Coast Delaware.
That's right. You
That's
should
right.
remember this now.
Yes, I do. Dogfish Head Brewing their Utopia's barrel-aged worldwide stout. It's their imperial stout that they age in some kind of wood thing. I forget the label.
I assume it's whiskey.
It is, but it's weird writing. Anyway,
Sorry, is it English?
it is, but it's like super like the experience of drinking Utopia is often described as ritualistic. God, kill me now.
Okay.
I know. Beer geekery info is what they call it.
Mhm.
I'll give them that. This is really,
It's really good.
really good.
Yes.
I've had their worldwide stout, like just like their wooden
the
one.
regular, yeah.
This has been aged, and that's really good. But this with the barrel aging,
Yeah, I got a 4 or 5
yeah,
at minimum. This is outstanding.
4.62 or whatever.
Yeah,
like
this is outstanding.
this is going to do good.
I don't love Dogfish Head that much, but then every time we have Dogfish Head, and we've had it 3 or 4 times, it's really good.
Yeah.
I feel like if we lived out there, which I would never live in Delaware, but if we lived in that area, like,
sure,
it would be. I think we'd be kind of sick of it, you know.
It'd be like the Surly,
Surly or Stone or
like,
whatever. Okay, it's fine, but it's really good.
Yeah, I got this last week. I'm like, yeah, let's have it tonight.
Yeah, I agree.
Very good.
All right, so our next segment then is the Social Network.
If you guys were the inventors of Facebook, you'd have invented Facebook.
Where we take a look back at the critical and fan reception from 20 years ago. I have Empire Magazine.
Ooh, I do not have that.
All right, good. Caroline Westbrook from Empire Magazine gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Bear with me here because I do have a little bit of a longer review, but I really liked hers.
I'll sit back and listen.
Yeah, enjoy your beer. So Fincher sets the scene. Mother and daughter view property, are introduced to concept of titular?
Yeah.
Emergency bunker. Move in, assess news station life within the first 15 minutes. Fincher then confines the remainder of the action to the house itself as a trio of bickering intruders break into the place and the women rapidly retreat into the panic room as their unwelcome visitors go in search of a hidden fortune. The ensuing cat and mouse game not only works because of Fincher's ability to ratchet up tension, the protracted build-up to Foster's discovery of the burglars is true edge-of-the-seat stuff, but because of a streak of black humor, with a U, in David Coep's screenplay, saves the film from ever becoming too intense. By using the house to its fullest effect, Fincher is also able to turn it into as much of an enemy as the film's human villains. He adds to the suspenseful atmosphere with extreme close-ups, bizarre camera angles, and a tendency to move uneasily from one floor of the house to another, rather like The Occupants. Ultimately, though, the film truly stands out thanks to Foster's protagonist, a strong, independent, and, above all, resourceful woman who takes matters into her own hands and bellies any of the damsel in distress stereotypes that this material might have given rise to in the hands of a less capable filmmaker.
That's good.
Yeah. I was like,
yep.
I could have read the entire review was like, yep. Like, find Caroline Westbrook from Empire Magazine's review. And I was like, all of this, I could have just copied and read the whole damn thing for 5 minutes. It was outstanding.
That's a really good.
Yeah, I was like, yep, there you go.
I enjoyed leaning back and listening to it while I had
there you go.
So thank you. The IMDb rating is 6.8 out of 10.
I was surprised at how low that was. That felt really low.
It did.
For a Fincher suspense movie. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Again, American Public. I can't figure it out.
We'll talk through that because it's really, I don't get it. Mick LaSalle of San Francisco. Mick?
Love it.
LaSalle of San Francisco Chronicle said Panic Room might sometimes forget to make sense, but no matter, since it creates enough tension that the audience can hardly think anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa Schwartzbaum of Entertainment Weekly. So the skirmishes for power waged among victims and predators settle into an undistinguished rhythm of artificial suspense. Big man Raj. 3 out of 4.
Yep.
All right. The movie resembles a chess game. The board and all the pieces are in full view. Both sides know the rules, and the winner will simply be the better strategist. Once we sense the film isn't going to cheat, it gathers in tension because the characters are operating out of their own resources, and that makes them the players, not the pawns. And at Academy Awards, no nominations, which makes sense.
No, I have one that I actually think it should have, but we'll get back to that.
Yeah. So that's the Social Network.
Perfect. So our next segment then is our reaction segment that we call High Fidelity.
Top 5 side ones, track ones.
Where we discuss our top takeaways of any kind from rewatching the film. There you go. What do you got?
I want to offer a caveat before we go into it.
Love it.
That I unabashedly love this movie.
Yep.
So I will recognize if people watch it or think differently, I respect that. but I am so biased.
Yeah, I would like to, again, similar to my Big Fat Greek Wedding, I'd like to meet somebody who didn't like this. Maybe didn't love this film, fine, but like to the point of, again, 6.8 on IMDb would suggest people have like a 1 or 2 rating.
Yeah.
Like, I want to meet somebody. So, I mean, I'm not a violent person, but I wouldn't mind punching them in the face a little bit.
How dare you?
Just like a little tap in the face.
Yeah. Or
the balls.
As we talk through this, it is something where, similar to like a Christopher Nolan or even Spielberg type of thing, David Fincher to me is in like the upper echelon of movie directors. So anything he does inherently is that much better. But this is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Edge of your seat, the tension, it's a slow build in the first 10 minutes. And then once it ratchets in where, okay, they're starting to break in, it is nonstop tension from that point. And I freaking love this movie.
Yep.
Like I said, I watched it 2 years ago being like, let's check it out. So just right off the bat, if you're listening, thank you. But also, I'm well aware I'm biased towards this movie.
Yeah. Acknowledging your bias is good.
Yeah.
I can't remember, was it AI that I think we joked about how many notes I took watching the movie? I think it was AI, right?
Yeah.
It was like 2.5 pages of notes.
Yes.
What I found interesting is I had 4 notes in this, and that was it.
Quick. Yep.
I was just like, I wanted to just experience this movie.
Just watch it.
It was the exact opposite. It wasn't a deep think. It wasn't anything like, I gotta really dig deep on this. No, it was just, I just let this movie play out.
Yep.
Without overthinking it. Brief beginnings usually piss me off.
Yeah.
With no, like, backstory of any kind, you know. But what sets this movie apart for me is the realtor is your proxy of showing you this house. It makes total freaking sense.
Yeah.
Like, this is a woman who is scorned by her ex-husband or soon-to-be ex-husband who is obviously cheating on her. And there's little notes along the way that you kind of get a sense of what is there, you know, but without being, I don't need more story than what you kind of fill in the blanks. But that realtor walking through the house, you're just like, oh, okay. Talking about the elevator, talking about things, but none of it is foreshadowing, obviously, except for the panic room, because that's the name of the movie. But the elevator comes into play in the movie, and you don't really realize why.
Yes.
But it makes total sense that some 12-year-old kid would be messing with the elevator. And I mean, I've normally that ticks me off.
Yep.
Very brief, no background. Why am I supposed to care about these characters now? Like, am I supposed to care? No, this movie, with Spider-Man, I said, like, David Cope has quietly put together a hell of a filmography, and Panic Room was one of them.
Yes.
You're like, holy hell. Also, by the way, he got paid a record amount of money for a screenplay at the time.
Really?
He got paid $4 million for the screenplay.
For a screenplay?
Yes.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, I mean, the guy knows what he's doing.
Well done.
So, anyway, I love that. Just my first reaction was just like, I love being along for the ride with this movie. So
this is one thing that stood out to me was this is just a solid movie of a handful of characters. I mean, you 5.
Yeah, 5
basically.
Main characters.
Yes.
Yep.
Where they're just playing cat and mouse in a house where the prey becomes, we should say, spoiler for those. We'll talk through it.
Yep.
If you haven't seen it, it's 20 years. But the prey then becomes the predator.
Yep.
And it's just fantastic. It's a perfect example of suspension of disbelief, where I always think about people that might have quibbles of movies. Like, if everything went right with all the characters' motivations, there'd be no movie. But things have to go wrong for there to be a movie. The bad guys show up thinking they can get in. Oop, new family moved in. Now there's tension. How do you have that? And all these things that play out, like, have to happen where you might watch and go, what? If you didn't have that, there'd be no movie. Yeah. And so this is a great example of those movies where you go, things have to go off the rails to have it be enjoyable.
14 days of escrow.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be here. This is your department, Junior. I'm not supposed to be here. Videotape. What but on videotape. We've been on videotape since we got within 10 feet of this place, and the tapes are upstairs.
14 days, girl.
To me, man.
14 days, girl, man. That's almost 3 weeks. They should not be in here for another week.
Exactly how is 14 days, 3 weeks?
Business days. Escrow is always business days. 5-day weeks, always.
Right. Out of here.
Exactly. How's that 3 weeks? Business days. Like, so I did think, yes, this is a great example of a very tight knit, small amount of characters and how they do a little bit of, you're right, like the beginning sequence with these tiny bits of details give enough insight into when the shit hits the fan, it plays out so fantastic of like an hour of intense, just what the hell's happening. So that was, to me, it was like, I love this. Yeah. So great suspension of disbelief. So
me,
you, me,
it's me.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yep.
Yeah, so I forgot visually how good this movie was.
Right.
Like, I know Conrad W. Hall took over because they fired their DP like after a little while or whatever, and but the shot of Foster in bed and Whitaker coming in behind, and then the camera like spins, like lives rent free in my head.
Yes,
like. That shot alone, not only the total, like the single edit shot or whatever, one shot, but that one where she's in bed, just laying on the side, and he's in the background, and then it just spins, and then she's like right side up. And then at that point, like, it makes no sense from a filmmaking standpoint. Like, what are you trying to tell me? But in reality, it's just flipping things around. I don't even know, but it's just, I love that shot to the point where it's the main movie poster.
Yeah.
But that shot is so freaking good. I feel like, to me, I love when big movie directors make small movies.
Yes.
Now, granted, this movie was like 6 months of production.
Sure.
It was a long ass production.
That's Fincher.
Right. That's Fincher.
Yeah.
To the point where like Foster had a kid in the meantime. Like, but this is still a small film.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he had previously done Fight Club, which had like 150 locations on it. Like, it was this epic film. I love it when these big directors do these small films and you're just like this, just tense moments, and they make these like really cool scenes, and you're just like, what are you trying to tell me here? But I don't even know, and you're not going to tell me, but damn it, I love it.
Yes.
I love that scene.
Yes.
I
agree that idea of having it be this claustrophobic experience in this
bringing
house.
her
and Fincher, one thing that stood out was watching again, like Fincher's directorial style really shines in this, where his other movies were like cinematic in, I think, Seven, one of the top 5 movies for me of all time.
Yep.
In terms of
especially suspense or
incredible, like just turning up the screws. But this was all the things to do with this, like the camera throughout the house and have it become somewhat a character, the house itself.
Yeah, like
confining them to these 4 stories or whatever it was, where he's the one tracking shot where the bad guys are first trying to break in.
Yep.
And it goes from the first floor and then
like to the
pans
back,
around
and then up
to the back, but goes through even like the coffee maker handle.
Yeah. I remember the coffee maker
and then
handle.
Cuts
Everyone
back
was freaking out about
as he
that.
goes up the stairs, and it's one, and then through the floors, and you see the details in the house in between the floors, and it goes all the way up to the top of the building, where that's where he breaks in. And so that to me was, I think back to the Fight Club with the like synaptic firing at the beginning of the movie. And that was just a different version through this house, where the house is kind of the interface of this story. And he chose to move up and around. And that, I remember seeing the theater, like, this is incredible what he's doing. And then one shot that goes through the banisters of the railing to then the creaking. There's no score, but just the creaking of them standing in the house as she goes to the bathroom and the pipes flush, and it's just the tension that you have. Like, these people are in your house,
right?
And holy shit! But all these little tiny things from a cinematic experience, just so fantastic in this.
You know, I guess talking about adding to the suspense, you talk about no Oscar nominations. It's something we rarely have ever talked about, but the sound design in this movie is so flipping good.
Yep.
Like, I didn't do research on what else was nominated for or whatever.
Sure.
I don't care about that. But because we know that Oscars don't equal greatness.
No.
It's a bellwether, I get it, or a barometer. But no, I think like the sound design to me, like the footsteps off screen, like there'd be footsteps going on somewhere else, and you don't need to see it, but you know what's happening. The switch from inside the panic room to outside, like the sound, and it merges everything together. All of the sound, it was so reliant upon, like, because again, these women maybe escape the panic room, but the only thing that gives them up is like she knocks over that lamp. And the sound design of this is like almost perfect. Like, just from a suspense standpoint.
Yes.
I don't know about from a technological standpoint or from an Oscar standpoint or whatever, a movie making standpoint, but just as a fan watching this movie, it's so rare to appreciate sound in movies.
Yeah.
And I found myself, she's walking around in bare feet the whole time. So is the daughter, and they got glass on the floor, and she's breaking lamps. And I mean, just like the sound design is damn near perfect.
Yes. Yeah. Where she is walking around and in the house in the silence. And I think what stands out to me is all those slow things of, as a moviegoer, I guess, experiencing, watching, and thinking, if I was in this house, and I would have no idea these people were in my house.
Right.
Where she's just going to bed, lays down.
Right. Yep.
But that tension building is fantastic. So like I mentioned, had watched it with my wife, who had never seen it. And I've seen it countless times.
Right.
And so it was really refreshing to see this with someone reacting to it, to the beats that I knew were coming, where, the tension building in the first few minutes, where Sarah, the daughter, goes to bed, she's tucking her in, and the little detail, opening the fridge next to the bed and seeing medicine in there somehow. And Ellen looks at me and goes, "Oh God, she's got some medical condition that complicates matters when they're in the panic room, right?" And I just kind of shrug, like, because I don't tell her like anything about movies. And well, to the most part, like halfway through, she's like, "Please tell me they don't die." I'm like, I'm not going to have you watch a movie where the mom and daughter die. Like, no, we're not going to experience this. Like, I'm not going to watch this again. But that is such a great.
Hey, honey, you want to watch this movie where they get raped and murdered?
Exactly.
At the
Like,
end? Yeah.
Terrible. Like, spit on my grave. This is a movie. Like, no. So I love that solid foreboding mechanism for that. But it's also, I didn't quite appreciate it until I watched it with her, it's a great movie to watch with people who think they're movie savvy.
Sure.
Where they say, again, anecdotally, but she was calling out things that the characters should do. Like, they have stereotypes of scary horror movies, like, do this, do that. Like, so, and they don't go to plan. So she's like, just get out of the room and get the cell phone. And then Foster does it and comes back in, and it doesn't work because they set up initially.
Right.
That's why they have the hardwire line.
Yep.
Exactly. Concrete and steel. You can't use a cell phone. So just get it. No big deal. Like, run out and get the medicine up one floor from this. Like, it was so awesome to watch it. And I love my wife, but it was great to be like, oh yeah, you think you got your movie stuff figured out, and it ain't gonna happen. I was surprised, I would say, that when the tables turn where now they're in the panic room and the daughter's in there and the police come and Ellen was like, give a signal to the cops. I'm like, they said they're going to kill the daughter.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, are you saying
you
would give a sign to the police?
Both of our children?
I know. I was like, whoa.
Which of our 2 children would you sacrifice,
pause.
Ellen?
What is happening? That the police would come and you'd give a signal like, but that, so we had a good laugh about it, but that was amazing to watch it thinking I've seen it so much and love it. But a newbie to it was like, I'm going to call it out. And they think ahead of that. So kudos to David Coop, honestly, of thinking through these tropes that would happen as a moviegoer, calling it out, and then counters much of that and puts you in that, like, just the squeeze box. So yeah, love it.
Yeah, I am the twist of her getting the gun, but they have her daughter in the panic room.
Yes.
To me is what separates this from being, again, like Caroline with Empire, the review talks about damsel in distress. Like this, that's what like really flipped this on its head.
Yes.
Was now for the last like 25-30 minutes, the bad guys have her daughter, who also is suffering from a diabetic seizure, basically. And but she's got the only gun in the building.
Yes.
So now these guys get the money, which is their goal. And they have the daughter. So they got to get out of the house, and the only way they get out of the house, by the way, they've also completely like screwed the doors shut, windows shut. The only way they can get out is through the front door.
Yes.
Or back door, basically. Because you can break the windows. So like they have created a way for her not to get out, but now like the tables were turned.
Yes.
And the gun was in her hand. Like it became suspenseful without like making her the murderer almost. Like it was where she was gonna like kill to save her family, which would have been really almost easy, you know?
Yes.
I love that twist where now she's got the power from a death standpoint that Raul made clear that he's got the one gun.
Yep.
But they have her daughter. And like that was like, oh, this for me, and that's where it ramps up, is like, okay, now she's no longer helpless.
Yep.
But she is kind of helpless because her daughter is in harm's way here. Like, so I love that twist. To me is what makes this movie, that put this movie from good to great.
Yes.
Like that sort of like, we're going to take this sort of normal, relatively normal, I guess, like pretty simple story. We're going to flip it on its head. And now she's got power, but no power at the same time.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I totally agree. What always stood out to me was when I first saw it and then watching it again and over the years is that dynamic of it's ultimately going to be boring if they're just in the trenches in the panic room, fending off some weird attempts to get in.
Although, yeah, that flame thing is so ridiculous. But anyway,
yeah, exactly. So like they try the propane gas and it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But that would be a boring movie of just like, well, eventually you're not going to get. But they turn the screws with she has to get out to save her daughter because the phone line wasn't set up.
Mm-hmm.
And then the diabetic situation.
Right.
And then once she gets out to try and get that and throws the medicine in, and now she's on the outside and they're trapped inside.
Yep.
And it's like, you're going to have to come through my house and get out of here where you've pinned me in. I absolutely agree. The dynamic shift.
Yeah.
Where now what I was trying to protect my kid is you're going to have to come out and I'm going to try and vanquish you. And
yeah. To where like she even talks about to Steven, her ex-husband or whatever. And he's like, does it have to come to this? And she basically says like, we have no choice. Like this is where it's going.
Yes, exactly. Yep. But the fact that she as a, like, again, damsel in distress, but then she gets out and she knocks out the security cameras. And even Raul was like, why didn't we think of that?
Why didn't we think of that?
I love that wink, wink to the audience of like, these dumbasses didn't think to just knock out the security cameras. So she has no idea. So yes, when she turns everything on them and realizes, okay, I'm going to cut off lights. I'm going to have things where they can't come through doors. I'm going to have a maze through my house and wind down. I just absolutely adore that element. So one thing that stood out was watching it again, where I think last year we talked about Kidman was supposed to be in this, but she had to drop out because of Moulin Rouge issues or whatever.
Yeah, like her ankle. Like
or knee or something like that. Yeah. Holy cow. Jodie Foster and Kristen Stewart are ridiculous in their mannerisms as mother-daughter. Yeah. Not just like how they talk, but even like how their mouth moves, where Ellen said, did they cast, like, do they know this is going to be a mother-daughter? I'm like, yeah, it actually was worked out where I don't know that it would have worked actually with Kidman. I like her in some stuff, but Foster and Stewart as mother-daughter are absolutely incredible. The dynamics of them together. So impressed with them. So serendipitous casting where it worked out with Foster, because she carries this movie. And her sense of like feral, I will destroy the world to protect my daughter from these interlopers. So incredible. So yeah, I loved the two of them. So great casting that worked out.
Apparently, like, Kristen Stewart grew like 3 or 4 inches during filming because it took so long.
She was,
she was shorter than Foster, and then by the end, she was actually taller than Foster. So they had to like mess around with that a little bit.
Stuff. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just messing with this because it's suddenly screwed up. Yeah, I agree. I think, so I think we've talked about in the past, like casting directors sometimes get a bad rap, but then they also get too much credit. Like, you wanted Kidman in this role, and in reality, this movie would not have been like to the point where, because Kidman actually, I don't know if they had been filming.
Oh, really?
For a little while, and to the point where like the sensor lights on the panic room were designed with Kidman in mind. So like Foster goes to the doors and those lights are in her eyes, but Kidman's taller. So it wouldn't have been in her eyes. So every time she went through that door, it would like those green lights would hit her eyes, and it like pissed her off, or because they had designed it for Kidman in mind, right? Like, so it was kind of crazy.
I like that.
My last point is not one I guess I kind of thought ahead of time, but it's kind of funny that we have 2 straight movies with musicians as sub characters, because we had Joey Fatone in My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yeah. And Dwight Yoakam.
Dude, Dwight Yoakam, can freaking act, man.
Yeah.
He's outstanding.
He's terrifying in this.
Yes. As Raoul, like, you have 3 Oscar winners, Foster, Whitaker, and Leto, and a soon-to-be nominee, presumably, in Kristen Stewart.
Sure, this year. Yeah.
Who's awesome in this movie, by the way.
Yes.
And then Yoakam freaking nails it. Arguably, the rest of those you kind of go, yeah, Jodie Foster, they're all going to be great in this movie. And you got a kid actor, Whitaker, so you're fine, whatever. But arguably, this movie hinges on Raoul.
Yes.
And you cast Dwight freaking Yoakam.
Yes.
In this role.
In a mask for half the movie.
And he freaking nails it on both sides, mask or not mask.
Yes.
He's intense. He's effing crazy.
Yes.
With mask or without.
Yes.
And later on, he gets his hand caught in the damn door.
Yeah.
And he acts exactly how you expect. You're getting your fingers cut off in a damn panic room door.
Yes.
Like, I am so impressed with him.
Yes.
In this movie. To me, I'm like, he is the linchpin of this movie, because if Raoul fails, the crazy guy or whatever, we know that Leto as the heir to this fortune, and Whitaker, he needs the money or whatever, but he's a nice guy. None of that brings suspense to this movie.
No.
Without an effective Raoul character.
Yes.
And nothing says Raoul like Dwight freaking Yoakam.
I know. Right?
And yet, he is so good in this movie.
Yes.
I'm like, what?
Yes.
And I know he's been in other things. I think he was in Sling Blade, and he was in other, and he directed a movie too. But still, really impressive.
Yes,
that you bring this in.
What if she has a gun? Who are you? I'm Raul.
I agree. Like, he was always that weird thing of, I didn't know who was cast in this, and then he's like got his face covered for half the movie.
Half the movie, yeah.
And then it comes off, you're like, dude, but he's ugly. And
yeah.
I can see him being a sociopath, just killing people no matter what. Like, yeah. So I love so much of this, like I said. But last thing I'll say is, my biggest problem, and actually I think I've hated it more and more as I've watched it more and more, is so the 20 years experience of appreciating before, obviously not having kids when I first saw it, and now doing like the peril that exists for this mother and daughter when she starts to go in shock is really, really tough to watch. Of her seeing like, my prone child, I will come back and protect you. Just incredibly effective. But what didn't quite hit me 20 years ago, but now I love it more and more, but still hate it, is Burnham. So Whitaker's character. He gets somewhat thrust into this because he knows how the panic rooms are built. And they hint at like he's in this because of some custody issues and kids and life and family. And he's the good guy in many ways, where he tries to leave. Actually, he doesn't want to do this. And then is realizing, again, Raul, the loose cannon, and this character, and realizing, wait, there's actually more money here than we thought.
Yeah.
He actually tries to leave and gets pulled back in by Raul because he shoots Leto's character. And then, you can't leave. And he protects Sarah, the daughter, gives her medicine, even saves the day at the end. He kills Raul from like destroying this family, and then he gets caught by the police.
Right.
I hate that. I truly hate that this character, who was a villain by proxy, antagonist, has all these good character traits and does what he should do to try and protect this family. He's like, I'm in over my head, but I'm going to see this through. Finishes it, protects these people, and then gets caught by the police. I really hate that. I was so frustrated watching him, be like, God, get away.
Yeah.
Have this guy. It's not his money. He didn't think, it's not like his family's thing. Like, so the money that's lost, or whatever, might get back to this family. That he got totally screwed by this bad guy coming in. And that, I think it would elevate this movie in so many ways. To have a bad guy get away with it, but have it be a virtuous bad guy, and have him be able to get. I think this movie would be so much better if he somehow gets away through the backyard. And then, so I watching him like, even Ellen was like so pissed.
Yeah, you do root for him.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I agree. I was more mad that, like the money just floats away.
I know.
That was more right. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I didn't mind that he got busted because at some point he is culpable for staying. I liked though that Kristen Stewart was like, no, don't shoot him. Like, she was actually protected. Like, so even she understood that he was a good, like,
yes,
he was in the, like, she was trying to protect him, but it doesn't mean he should get away with everything that just happened, because he is culpable in that. Like, just because he tries to stop,
he saves Sarah
in the end.
She's gonna die,
but he also
and he
was
saves
a direct reason she was in peril in the first place. Like, they decided to be there, and he did stay. He could have left. So I'm like,
I agree.
At some point, you do have to be punished for what he chooses to do.
I disagree.
But from a movie making standpoint, it would have been intriguing for him to get away.
Yes.
In the end, you know, but because he was so nice, you wouldn't like the only thing is, like, from a Foster Stewart standpoint, would you ever be able to sleep soundly if you knew, even if he was a good guy, he was out there somewhere, right? Like, this person who came into our house and completely violated
Totally.
So almost to the reverse of that would be like in the end, yeah, they're looking for a new house or apartment or whatever, but now you have this guy who you're the only two people
I
or
can
three
see.
who, so you kind of have that other side of that. You go like, yeah, he's a good guy, but in the end,
Yeah.
you have that hanging over your head too. So I like to think that maybe they go to bat for him and he gets a lesser sentence and things like that. Again, I'm more mad that $22 million just like floats away magically in the courtyard.
Exactly.
In Manhattan.
Yes.
Like, why did you take it out, man? It's in your chest. Somehow drop it over the fence.
Yes.
Go back for it. Anyway. Great film.
Oh, absolutely.
It's such good. Like, go watch it, man. It's so good.
If you haven't seen it, dear God, it's just phenomenal.
Yep.
Love this movie.
All right, so then we come now to our final segment, which is Quiz Show.
The exciting quiz program, 21.
Where we search for trivia surrounding our subject film and try to stump the other. I do have a couple. I was a little bit intrigued in this one. I actually I found it easier to find trivia for My Big Fat Greek Wedding than I did for this.
Oh.
Oddly enough. Like, not that I couldn't find stuff, but I'm just kind of curious. I do have a couple, though. Do you have a couple?
I have a couple.
All right. Do you want to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. All right.
Although you went first last time.
I can't remember. Go ahead.
Okay.
Just go ahead.
Panic Room is not the first film on which director David Fincher and actress Jodie Foster were assigned to work together.
Mm-hmm.
Foster was originally cast in 1997's The Game, but her supporting role was given to a different actor.
Yeah.
Which character do you think she was originally assigned to play?
I don't know the character, Sean Penn.
The brother.
The brother of
Michael Douglas. Yeah.
I can't remember. What is his name in that movie?
Sean Penn.
It's like but it's like a feminine-ish name or whatever,
I forget.
Anyway,
yes.
matter.
Michael Douglas. Yes.
It was supposed to be.
They recast.
They recast
The
with
sister
Sean
to
Penn.
brother. Yes.
There we go.
I was hoping you'd throw it out for the
nice job
waitress. Yeah, but yeah.
What in the hell is his name?
I know.
That's just bugging me right now.
Conrad.
Yeah, it's not a female name.
Connie.
Yep.
They probably turned it to Connie.
Yeah, there we go. All right, so as mentioned, there are 3 Oscar-winning actors in this film: Foster, Whitaker, and Leto. But did you know there was actually a 4th Oscar-winning actor in this film? A brief moment when Foster calls her ex-husband and his mistress answers the phone.
The woman on the phone?
Yeah. Which 2003, I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
Best actress winner is the voice on the phone.
Kidman.
Correct.
For the Hours, yeah.
Yeah, they brought her in.
That's great.
Yep.
They have
Nicole
her
Kidman was who was obviously in the original Foster role.
Just put him on the phone, bitch.
Yep.
Oh, that's good. I
There you
didn't
go.
realize that. I did not realize that was her voice.
She is credited even on IMDb. So yeah.
Really?
Yep.
I should watch credits, but
Yeah, you're fine.
So David Fincher rose to fame by directing commercials and impactful music videos in the 1980s and 90s with collaborations including, get this, Foreigner, Loverboy, George Michael, Billy Idol, Sting, Michael Jackson, Gypsy Kings, and Aerosmith.
Okay.
Like, that's a
I mean,
crazy resume.
Yep.
Yet his most consistent collaborations were directing 4 music videos for 2 separate female singers. Can you name both of these iconic female artists? One is a dancer turned pop star, and the other is arguably the most influential female artist of the 80s and early 90s.
Yeah, Madonna.
Yep.
Is one.
That's one. Yeah, the Vogue.
Yeah. Was it J-Lo?
No.
Paula Abdul?
Yeah, Paula
I was thinking it was
Abdul.
one of the 2.
Straight up.
Like,
now,
yeah, I couldn't remember. Like, I was like, but I knew
Yeah.
Madonna.
Yeah.
The other 2, I was like, which is it? But okay, so there you go.
That's good. That's good. Yep.
Good for you, Fincher.
Yep.
Tell you what, man, those music videos.
Oh, yeah.
You can trace the music video directors of the 90s.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. All right, so, excuse me.
You're excused.
Kristen Stewart, who Fincher famously described as annoying.
Did he?
was not originally cast as Sarah, the daughter.
Really?
Correct. What young actress with credits such as A Bug's Life and Remember the Titans before this was cast as Sarah?
Shut up. Hayden Panettiere or
Yeah,
whatever?
it was originally supposed to be
original?
Kidman
and her?
Hayden Panettiere. Who actually, quite frankly, if you're going to put Kidman with Stewart, you'd be like, no, that's weird.
Yes.
But Kidman with Panettiere actually would have kind of worked. But yeah,
she
it
would've
was
been
originally
younger.
supposed to be Panettiere.
I feel like the thing about Stewart in this is great is she's a really great teen actress where she can be much more like impactful. But yeah, if you put a young Hayden Panettiere in this, who's like probably
No, they're about the same age, actually.
really,
Yeah.
I feel like she's like whatever. She
But
would
they
have appeared
even still,
younger,
even 10, 11 or whatever
more
instead of
peril.
12. Yep.
Huh.
There you go.
Oh, that's a good one. I had no idea.
Ding. You
Wow.
got it right. Do you have any
Hey,
others?
I do not.
I got one more for you.
Ooh.
All right. So speaking of Kidman and the cameo, I guess.
Yep.
The film also features another cameo with Fincher ties, the sleepy neighbor across the courtyard. It's
The guy that
played.
wakes up.
Yeah. It's played by Andrew Kevin Walker, the screenwriter for what 1995 Fincher classic?
I didn't know that was him.
Yeah.
But 7.
Yeah.
Oh. Dude, I feel like it's too bad that we are so late for 7 because
Yep.
7 is top 5 movie for me of all time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, we're not allowed to
man.
cover it because Kevin
Nope.
Spacey's in it. We're not allowed.
No, we're
it's
okay.
against the rules.
We don't describe that, but oh god, that's a good one. I
There
didn't
you
know
go.
that was him.
Yep.
Wow,
Yeah. Randomly.
really?
Yep. There we go.
That's a good connection.
All right. So that brings us to the end of our happy hour episode on Panic Room. Very glad we covered this.
Oh, so good.
Stay tuned for our March films: About a Boy, About Schmidt.
About.
Yeah. And if we have time, we'll be discussing Ice Age. Head to our website for more info on the rest of the year's movies as well. We want to say thank you for taking time to listen and for clicking that like or subscribe button on your devices. Find us on Twitter at years_beers and on Facebook, or head to 20years4beers.com. This has been 20 Years 4 Beers. My name is Steve.
I'm Tim.
And thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Team Beers. I mean, I'm not a violent person, but I wouldn't mind punching him in the face a little bit.
Spit on my grave.
Floats away.
I'm wrong.
Lover boy. Woo-hoo-hoo.